Hello and welcome back to 30 apps in 30 days. Today is day 11. I think there's a lesson here in starting with something super simple. We've got App Mafia and all that stuff at the moment. You're given the scene a bit of a bad name. Do I need to learn the fundamentals of JavaScript or CSS or React Native? No, you don't. If you've got a problem, then there's a good chance other people will have that exact same problem. Like any good developer, we should be out field testing. If you are new here, we are indeed building 30 apps in 30 days. Every app needs to be built within the day and it needs to be out on production by midnight for real people to use. Alongside that, we're making a video every day. So do hit the subscribe button because this is a lot of work, especially when I'm up at midnight wrestling with auth and payments and all that fun stuff. But today, I've got the Polo on, and you know what happens when we got the Polo on. It means we're building another golf app. So maybe good news for the niche subset of you that like golf and development. But if you're just here for the development, don't worry, we're still going to share our learnings. And I think maybe we might try a iOS app today using React Native, using Expo. So stay tuned because I've seen some very cool stuff with that. So let us jump into the build. All right, but before we go in, what are we actually building? So the golf swing rabbit hole goes deep, and there's basically this dude, Robert Grobo. I think he's a physics lecturer at Yale, and he worked with some of the top golfers on tour. He essentially took his physics knowledge and combined it with the golf swing. Don't worry, I'm not going to go into crazy detail here. He basically established this notion that all golf swings have very good tempo, and the length of their swings are essentially all the same time no matter how far the swing is. So where are we going with this? As you can see here, there's this quote, which is all we need to know for this project. Pat is a walking, talking, breathing metronome, and this is his swings mapped out and the cadence of it, but that will be consistent across the board. A lot of amateurs like myself, we have very bad rhythm in our swing. They're all different. There's literally no rhyme or rhythm. And when I actually try and work on rhythm, my swing gets a lot better. So you can see what that actually looks like. And as you can see here, this dude, Jake Knapp, has amazing rhythm, and it almost makes the swing look effortless, even though he hits the ball very long. You've got some people like Ernie Els, old school golfers, that just make it look so effortless. And that's one of the big differences between professional golfers and amateur golfers. So there are these guys called Tour Tempo, as you can see here, that basically just have a super simple old school app, which is a metronome essentially. It's beats. Let me see if I can make sure you can hear this. So you can hear that it's just, and this is a training aid. It's very simple. Again, if you're not super interested in golf, you'll see how we can vibe code an iOS app using hopefully Convex, using Expo, and hopefully this is a smooth build. And I should also add on this idea, there's pre-validated demand. All these videos, people want to use this sort of tempo. They want to use it in their training. There's like an app 20 or 30 quid. Does it need to be 20 or 30 quid? So we could just put this out there, help out a bunch of people. And right now I'm using TikToks for the tempo. So I'm solving my own problem. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so now we're going to follow these React Native instructions from Combat. We just love messing around with setup and deployment, don't we, here on this channel? But hopefully we're struggling so you don't have to. Okay, we've got this up and running now. Again, way too much time doing that, but here we are. Blue sky's disappearing behind us. Again, like our last golf app, we want to get this up and running so we can go out and test it. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? All right, so let's test out if this app's going to work. So we got this here. Open an Expo Go. Allow. That didn't work. Okay. We should see a little to-do list. There we have it, folks. We have contact. Nice, that is cool. Cool. Well, now it's time to cook. Maybe next week we'll change the stack, try some different tools, and then we can compare them fully. Okay, so right now we've got a simple UI with the different options here, and I'm exploring with Claude if we could get a bit creative here and actually make some music rather than just the kind of beeps. So let's try this in 11 Labs. New music. Create a 169-beat minimalist training track with 3 emphasized beats. Okay, let's try that. I don't think that's going to work, but add a nice lo-fi beat to it. That's cool. It's like vibe making music. That is very nice, 11 Labs. Okay, we're vibing here. All right, okay, and here's some more validation as well. Full tempo is a cheat code. It does really work. There we go, and he's saying, yeah, we don't want to pay $20 for the app. Okay, so I think what we're going to do now is actually use Python to create these sounds. Obviously, there are a bunch of tracks out there, but let's create our own because it's probably easier than actually borrowing. Cool, so let's chuck this. And I really like Python for just this simple local stuff. I think for V1, let's just do this. So let's say here, let's start Claude. Hey, I want to make some tempo. Now I'm going to ask it to just give a bit of context here as well. Create an audio training tool. Most amateur golfers have inconsistent tempo. 3 beats. So we'll paste that in, and then we'll paste in. And then it will be able to hopefully do all that Python stuff straight in Claude Code, which helps us out a lot. And I think, again, like I said, I've been using Claude Code to edit some videos. I think this is a super underrated way of using Claude Code. Cool, so this app, where are we? So I'm not gonna lie, that app does look pretty rubbish, but I think today I'm gonna not worry about UI and just focus on getting the app working. That should be sweet. What could be cool is to use 11 Labs music to, if we have our 3 tones, and we can use 11 Labs music to add some nice backing tracks around the back, rather than just like maybe some little lo-fi or something, maybe some drum and bass, who knows? Different flavors for different folks. What could be cool is to sync up clips of golfers with the tempo in the app. A lot of YouTube channels will just have a bunch of golfers and their swings synced up to the audio track. So it'd be cool if you could watch. By the way, if you do play golf, definitely try out this tempo thing. I tried it out recently. It's bloody good. It's bloody good. We might not be doing the most complex app today, but surely showcasing Claude Code, producing music, experimenting with 11 Labs music. This is pretty cool. So if anyone's saying, we've been a bit lazy today, come on, let us off. We could probably, is 11 Labs music API? Is that exposed? Oh, wait, 11 music API. Wow, it is. Damn. We could have some fun and create a bunch of tracks. Thinking what I'm thinking? Probably not. Never seen it. Imagine seeing a guy get this excited about a new API endpoint. Look at us. Look at us. Okay, so apparently something has been cooked here. So let's give them a spin. 24.8 V2. Oops. Okay, I think it might one-shot it. I like it. Just have this constantly running. Okay, for the purpose of time and vibes, let's drop this into assets audio, drop that in there, that path, come back here. Okay, added this track, and then we should be able to, okay, so it's going to install this Expo. Cool, nice progress. Okay, so what I do want to do is just verify that the tracks are all correct. So it should be able to analyze the tracks. Cool, it looks pretty solid. Meanwhile, and I think for simplicity we'll just have 24.8, just a 1 tempo for now, just to keep things simple. I'm excited for the Expo. I think apps are actually a pretty sick avenue for vibe coders. I know we've got App Mafia and all that stuff at the moment. Given the scene a bit of a bad name, I think for like ultra niche specific things, apps are much better than web apps, because when you're out and about or doing something, you've always got your phone with you. You've not always got your laptop or web browser there. And I think having the iPhone app opens up the opportunities. Combine that with some of the payment stuff. Yeah, if you combine that with a good way to get up a paywall and database, we're going to be flying apps out by the end of this month. Cool. Look at this. Mathematical precision. Do my competitors have mathematical precision like this? I don't think they do. I don't think they've got Claude Code whipping up perfect 3:1 ratios. Cool. I like this a lot. Peak detection. I like it, I like it, I like it. How are we doing here? Tempo Tone app is fully connected with real audio playback. Wow, absolutely crunching through today. There we go, nice. Well, that'll be fun now. NPM run, no. What's the NPM start, that's it. So let's see if this is gonna work. Surely not, surely not. Okay, let's close that. Let's come back here. Where's our memento of truth? Okay, it's looking good. There's some in there. So let's go for 24.8. Click play. Why can I hear it out of my headphones? This is my phone. What? Is it playing in 2 places? What's going on? Oh, it's connected here as well. Okay, that's funny. Well, there we have it, folks. There we have it. Sweet. So I can now go down to range and use this app. You probably can't hear it. Maybe. Okay, so what I'm basically saying here is make some docs so we can reference it, so we can generate it easily in future. I want to try it with some different beats, and then let's try and add it in with some music so I can vibe out in my training. Okay, so what I've done here is essentially asked it to use a few different sounds, so we can then give the option in the app to use different sounds, and then we're going to experiment with the 11 Labs. Then hopefully we can get out and put this to the test. Like any good developer, we should be out field testing. Very smart. Another note on the golf thing. I know it is quite niche, but that's the thing. There'll be a lot of people who are thinking what apps they can build now. The beauty of building now is that you can take things in your own life or whatever you may do, and you can build specific things that help a smaller group of people. And I say golf is a smaller group of people. It's not. It's huge. In the grand scheme of things, it's not an app. Like my domain app can help like all builders or whatever, or anyone. Because let's be honest, not everyone's buying a domain actually. People think like they need to build like a to-do list or a food prep app. Who would build a food prep app? Defo, maybe me. And funnily enough, I do actually have a good idea and twist on a to-do app, but we'll save that one because a lot of people will like to have a little laugh at that. But with this golf app, there's demand. I know the problem space. So if you know that problem space, you need to lean into that because that's your unfair advantage. If there was another developer trying to build like a tempo app, probably wouldn't get it. They wouldn't be able to go out this afternoon and test it. Let's say you're really into gardening. You want to build some sort of gardening app, tracker, plant identifier. You can go out and test that and use a competition. You can see what is bad, what doesn't work, what people want. And you can now build that using all the things that I'm using. You can see in these builds, we're not writing code. We have to understand and wrestle and pull ourselves through different processes. And yeah, we are learning that, but we're not physically writing code. I've had some comments of people asking, what do I need to learn? Do I need to learn the fundamentals of JavaScript or CSS or React Native? No, you don't really. You need to just build something. And hopefully this is inspiring a few people to get out there and actually just start building, especially using things like Convex Chef or Lovable or Bolt. Just get in there and do it. Put one foot in front of the other. You'll run into a bunch of errors and mistakes, but don't be disheartened. Use AI to help you fix them. That's my advice. So I want to hear from you in the comments. What niche app ideas do you have? What are the sort of things in your own life, in your own hobbies, in your own world? What could you be building? What problems do you have? Because I tell you what, if you've got a problem, then there's a good chance other people will have that exact same problem. And even something like this Tempo app, it's not very glamorous, it's not very technologically advanced. But I bet if I put this out on the App Store, I bet it would get a good amount of users. And I'm pretty confident in that. And hopefully we're going to make that happen today. Maybe there's a few caveats here because it might be tricky to get this out on the App Store, but we need to make sure it's publicly available for users to use as per our rules. So we'll make sure that happens. Anyway, I was waffling on there. Let's check out these different sounds. So here we go, 24/8 woodblock. So I want to make sure that the spacing between is good enough. Okay, maybe we'll just keep it simple for now. Those were a bit of a racket one. Alright, so we're just experimenting with gaps between each beat sequence. So here we've got one set gap. Maybe that's a bit too fast. So I'll do 1.35. Very specific, but sounds about right. Okay, so now we've made the tones a little bit longer so they blend and they're not as like abrupt. And now we're going to try and make the tones a slightly different pitch. I don't even know if this Python library can do it, but supposedly it can do anything we throw at it. In the meantime, we're going to try this 11 Labs music vibe. That doesn't look like it's working. Okay, so I'm trying to keep that beat and rhythm going here. Okay, so like I said, this Python music thing seems to just literally crunch through anything. So now it's making the gaps between the beats even smoother. It's funny again, just an example, you come into this thing, oh, it's just a simple track, 3 beats, but it gets more complex as you go. Still trying to get 11 Labs to work. All that Python generation broke our laptop, so we had to restart. Now we generate a couple short game tracks, and now we're updating the tracks, and we're going to get ready to deploy. Hopefully, I think we're going to store these audio files in Convex, so we'll let you know how the deployment goes on. It's our favourite part of the videos, isn't it? Only thing about this is I think we might need to pay our dues in the App Store. We actually paid last year, but didn't ship one app, hence 30 apps in 30 days. Okay, we're paying our dues to the Apple Mafia. If we weren't, then we'd be shipping a demo, which we don't want to be doing. That is not part of the game plan. Blimey, I'm going to be bankrupt after this, aren't I? Hopefully some of these SaaSes start making some money. Okay, just figuring out the best way to deploy now. Expo Go. Okay, we can test it with Expo Go, and then that way we meet the criteria, and then we'll try kick off the iOS part this evening or something. Expo deployment. Okay, so let's go for this. Not looking great. Don't know what these errors are either. Web version is ready. Yeah, setup. I've already got Expo. CLI. EAS Expo. Okay, Tempo Town. There we go. That's looking better. Your project is ready. Yeah, to test. Okay, EAS is now set up. There we go. Okay. Would you like your... Yeah, sure. Android. I might be on Android soon. My iPhone is on its last legs. Maybe my MacBook is as well after today's restarts. Build command failed. Let's get Claude to do it. Build is experiencing a partial outage. Oh, you gotta be joking. Outage? Poor. What is my luck? Can we do it to Expo Go then? So we need to go and try it out. Luckily I set up some of this stuff a while back. Tempo Town is live on Expo Go apparently, so let's go to Expo Go. Let's shut that down. Don't know if we need to do anything with Convex. Okay, I need to sign in, log in. Don't know what my password is. Okay guys, there we have it. Out on Expo Go, out on Prod. We haven't started our push to the App Store yet because the Expo build service is apparently not working. But I can share this link if you download Expo Go. There we go, it's called Tempo Town. And we'll open it here, make sure we'll verify that this is all working. And the only thing to do now is to give it a test run. And again, I know it's not the best looking app. It's not going to win any design awards, but I think there's a lesson here in starting with something super simple. And then, because we've used some new tech today, this is our first proper app build. So if we have a simple concept, and then we can work out the deployment to make sure that's all smooth. We don't want to get hung up on a bunch of technical stuff and then be like, oh snap, we need to work out this Expo deployment stuff. So yeah, lesson to any new vibe code is start something simple, especially if you're using some new tech.